Good to be here. Hope you guys are doing well. And what can I do for you?
Well, Seth, why this game? And what's the significance? Why'd y'all choose this game?
Well, that's a little bit above my pay grade. But I think because if you think about the Big 12 right now, obviously Texas Tech's having a great year, but Baylor, Kansas has been kind of the standard recently. And, I think we try to get to places where the games aren't just games, they're events. And even with the injuries that Scott's teams had, they continue to compete and put themselves in a position to, potentially even win a Big 12 championship.
Has that surprised you that they've been able to do that, stay in the race with all the injuries they've had?
Yeah, it has surprised me. I mean, I think that if you think about it, it's not just the injuries, but it's Akinjo goes down, LJ goes down, Adam goes down. Then, obviously Jonathan goes down. And, but Scott's reinvented them before. I mean, people forget Tristan Clark goes down, and all of a sudden that begat that three-guard lineup, which ended up being good enough to win a national championship. So, I mean, I think the positive thing for them is that they remain positive. It's not, oh, woe is me. All right, what do we have to do? So now all of a sudden Jeremy has to play out of position, but on the other hand, that kind of creates a matchup problem because now bigs are going to have to guard him on the floor. Well, what else do we have to do? Maybe we've got to extend our defense a little bit. Maybe we're going to switch more. And I think, a lot of times it's not what happens, but how you look at it. And it's not just your words, it's in your body language. And I think Scott has a gift of when he speaks, everything else, at least when he speaks to his team, says, all right, we'll figure this thing out. And I think, I don't know, it's brainwashing them, but look, they've got good players and they've got tough matchups. I mean, Kendall's a tough matchup, obviously. Jeremy's a tough matchup. Adam can get it going and knock down 5 and 6 threes in a row. Matt seems like he's settling into his new role a little bit better. So I just think that next guy up and next play.
Seth, where would you rank the Big 12 right now in terms of conferences in college basketball?
After I was black and blued and bloodied, it's the first of the best. Either the SEC or the Big 12 are the best conferences in college basketball this year. I mean, it's I'd say Big East would be right in that category, and probably should be in that conversation. But the thing that's made the Big 12 so difficult is it's the best defensive conference in college basketball. It's not even close. Most of the teams' DNAs are built on the defensive end, and it's a tough-minded, physical, versatile defensive conference. More teams are trying to keep the ball on the sideline, which makes it harder to get paint touches and run offense. Most of the teams have the ability to switch, but they're not just switching, they're switching up. Most of the teams have great ball pressure. So I'd say the SEC and the Big 12 have separated themselves with the Big East, because I don't want to be disrespectful to the Big East. The Big East depth is really, really good. It's really good. Older league. SEC, the Big 12 is an older league. The SEC has gotten a little bit older. The Big East has gotten older. So, but the league is great. The games, it goes back to the environments. Who would have thought 10 years ago that this would be a basketball environment? Look what's happening at Texas Tech. It's a basketball environment. Chris going to Texas has created a different environment there. The venues and the environments are just incredible. But so is the coaching. It's been great, and the players are really good.
How do you think the one-time transfer rule has impacted the Big 12 as a whole, and then looking at Baylor?
They've done a great job with it. They really have done a great job with it. The Big 12 probably has done the best job with it being ahead of the curve in terms of understanding the value of rebuilding programs. You think of what happened at Iowa State. They've done a great job with it. Obviously James Akinjo here is a huge addition. You can go right down and look what's happening. Chris Beard's built his whole roster on the transfer portal. Coach Adams has rebuilt Texas Tech off the transfer portal. It is the culture of our game. And you can say, well, that's not what we're going to do. But, you look at the ACC, the one school that's done a great job with the transfer portal has been Wake Forest. They're going to be an NCAA tournament team with Alondas Williams obviously, and Jake LaRavia. You look at Notre Dame with Paul Atkinson. You would be remiss, back in the day, what you would do in recruiting is obviously you're going to recruit high school players, you're going to go prep school players, you're going to recruit a transfer or two and develop them. Now there's a whole new category. And the grad transfer now has been replaced by, of course, it's not just the grad transfers, it's everyone. So it's just another area in which your staff has got to really, really be alert and have the agility to adjust. And I think the Big 12's done it better than anyone.
Seth, this Kansas team, is it typical of most Kansas teams, or do you see a little difference?
No, typical of new Kansas teams. Kansas for years and years played high-low basketball and played two bigs. And then again, necessity created an opportunity for Bill to go with that smaller lineup. And there'll be a time tomorrow where you're going to have Lightfoot and you're going to have Jeremy Sohan on the floor at the 5, and it's going to look like a 6'4" and under league or a 6'6" and under league. But this is, the speed in which they play with, the spacing in which they play with. Probably not as good defensively, although they're getting better defensively. But on the ball, they're not as good maybe as they've been in the past. But yeah, they're gonna play with great flow, great spacing. They're gonna do all those dribble handoffs to spread ball screens. They're gonna do all those wide pin downs to dribble handoffs. They're gonna have the thing that makes Kansas so difficult this year is now that that Jalen Wilson's playing well, is you've got three guys on the floor, whether it's Wilson, Abaji, or Brown, that are 6'6" or better, that are what I call floor gamers and shot makers and playmakers. And then you got DeJuan Harris. If Remy Martin was healthy, there's another portal guy, but the Harris kid has really been good. He's almost had a 3-to-1 assist-to-turnover ratio in the last 7 games, and he can defend the ball. But yeah, this is in the new way that Bill's playing. Speed, flow, more floor gamers than most teams have, and they're improving defensively, which Bill's teams always defend pretty hard.
How would you describe the Baylor basketball program right now as far as the status on a national standpoint?
It's a program that you can't imagine not being a top 20 program, and can't imagine, in a position to compete for a national championship. And, it's a program that not only has made a commitment to every aspect, everything you need to be successful, and has a coach with a vision and a passion for not getting to this point, but staying at, where they are. So, Baylor, back-to-back years, we're here. Baylor's looked at as a program that is one of the elite programs in college basketball.
Sorry.
Yep.
Your third time being here, what's the expectation for the crowd? What have you noticed in the last few times that you've traveled?
Well, the coolest thing, last time we were here for game day was it was right before tip-off, which is a really cool feeling. You think about you're doing the show, and as the show is coming to an end, the energy in the building obviously rises. And in fact, Scott came on the show the last time right before the game. But look, there's ownership. There's ownership. There's ownership from the student body. There's ownership from the community. There's an energy that goes along with Baylor basketball. It doesn't and there should be. If you look at the last, whatever it is, 5-10 years or whatever, if when you're defending national champions, you've been to multiple Elite Eights and Sweet 16s. That's what should happen. The biggest challenge, not a challenge, but you've created this great expectation, obviously. So will the fans have that expectation. Now they think it's easy to win a national championship. They forget about the journey. They forget about the roadblocks and the detours and everything that goes along the way. So, I think it's really important through all these injuries how competitive the team has been. You can never take for granted the success that you've had, because the success you've had is part of, everything that went into it. It's not, Scott's made it look easy. It's not easy. It's not easy. And, you could have a hiccup year. But I mean, it's been phenomenal what's transpired, and obviously moving into a new arena in a year and a half, and all those things are a reflection of what they've been able to do.
We have time for one more question.
Just how big of an
It's really good to do these press conferences when you don't have to talk about it after a loss. You're really smart up here. Yeah, what the hell? Put all the pressure on Scott.
Just how big of an impact do you think a game like this can have on seeding for Baylor if we start to turn our eyes toward March?
Yeah, I mean, I think, look, Kansas is a top number 1 seed right now. So, I mean, to beat a number 1 seed, obviously that, what a win tomorrow would do would take away the doubt of Baylor without Jonathan, maybe they're not a top 4 seed. You beat Baylor, then you're going to be guaranteed Kansas, you're probably going to be guaranteed a top 4 seed. So it's an incredible opportunity. Having said that, you know what? I hate to say this, but unless you're a number 1 seed, seeding doesn't mean a damn thing. Because you're going to play a good team in the second round. Probably going to play a good team in the first round. Like, people forget now, even in the first round, if you say you're a 4 seed, even in the first round, you're going to play a team that won a conference championship. You're going to play a team that won 22, 23, 24, 25 games. You're going to play a team that expects to win. So, I mean, seeding's important, but to get where they would like to get to, you're going to have to play well. And you might play well and lose. You might play well and win and get a chance to play again. So I don't get caught up. I know on Selection Sunday on our shows, sometimes we get caught up in seeding. Where seeding becomes a problem is, if you remember the year that Kentucky got like a 6 seed or something, and Wichita State was in their bracket as a 1. Well, Kentucky wasn't a 6, which wasn't fair to Wichita State, who had to play them, I think, in the second round. So that's where it becomes tricky. But if you, in the end, you're going to have to play good team. You're going to have to play good ball to win, and that's just the way it is. So I'm not. Billis would be a better person to ask that because he gets so caught up in the seeding as a coach. You get caught up in the game that's in front of you, and like the game that's in front of you is probably going to be a pretty good team. My last thing is the last time I saw Tweety Carter, he was in there practicing today. I was coaching Virginia Tech, and that was kind of the team that kind of got things going, and we were planning to go to New York, I think, for in the NIT, and we both had pretty good seasons. And I said, Tweety, I see you. I'm getting like flashbacks. You guys run that lob play and getting a dunk on us. But it's kind of cool that the foreign players come back. Ownership and that kind of stuff is really, really important in terms of building a program. So, all right.
Thanks, Seth.
Undefeated for 10 years.